Up. All right. So we've had some rains for pretty consistently for the past 9 days since I last did an upload. I think it's been lots of updates. So I'll try to make this less than 15 minutes. My mess over here is still a mess, but just some more seedling updates. The Rapundas are pretty much exactly where they were before. This Pakuri mangosteen is starting to push out leaves. Then we got another guy popping up. So not much action or anything else. I moved a lot of the seedlings from the inside to out here. So they're, I've got my cuspidatas right there, the anthropophagas, and the yellow jaboticaba, the large, what is it, the cabeludo, larger fruited varieties are all out here getting some humidity and warmth and all that. They're all looking pretty good. Now I have my Plenia oblongata here, the sour jaboticaba. I had to deal with ants that decided to make a nest in it. One day they had just completely built a mound all the way up to here. And oh my goodness, it's raining. Look, Florida, blue skies, and rain. That's wild. But so solution to this problem was, and I've seen Adam just like completely dunk his jabos in the ground or in water. So I submerged it for a little bit until all the ants came out, and then I put it up here in a completely different spot up off the ground, and I'm just going to let it kind of dry out a little bit after being dunked. But they have not come back, so it's definitely not for the faint of heart. But I definitely felt like the plant would have suffered with the ants living in it, so I got rid of that. My goodness, I was going to come out here and do a video, but hopefully this goes away here in a second. Another thing, the Coronata Hashtinga is looking really nice. There we go, and man, that's just Florida for you. It's already stopping. The Otto Anderson Roncavino is looking nice. It's still, I think it's working on its root system a little bit. It hasn't pushed out any new growth, but same with this guy. But the Campo Ramon, I won from John Travis's auction, is looking fantastic. So pretty happy there. I've got this Rosa de Pescos that I took out of a larger pot because I think it was just too big for it. It kept getting like this leaf burn. And like the new growth on it wasn't really looking super great. Let me see if I can get it to focus. So I just pulled it out, looked at the root system, and it hadn't really expanded its root system too much since I put it in the bigger pot. So took all the soil off, put it in a smaller pot so that it can have very little space to expand its root system, but it's going to keep doing that. My Scarlet got a little burnt up from the sun, I'm pretty sure is what that is. So hopefully with the rain, it'll keep it cool. Yeah, not much else going on over here. I want to show what's going on outside. Alright. So, a lot of the weeds have really grown up. I got to come through and chop and drop it all. But, we've got a red in here that's still doing pretty good. This Garnet Cherry of the Rio doing really good. The Cambuca, it's doing so well. I'm very happy. There's a little bit of bug damage on the tips here, but you can see the new growth is coming in just like nice and green. A little bit of bug damage, but that's okay. But yeah, so it's getting taller, pushing out all around. I chopped back this Dune sunflower a little bit, just chopped and dropped it, and just to give it a little bit more sunlight. Orinoco bananas are coming in. The Centennial variegated kumquat, they got like these little watermelon kumquats on them. They're all right. That plant has been doing terribly because when I first got it, I didn't realize the soil mixture I did was really bad, and it got root rot, and it died all the way back, and it pushed out one branch and then another branch from that branch, and it's been doing okay since. So I decided to put it in a really dry spot in the yard, which is like specifically this corner. I don't know why just nothing grows there except for that kumquat. But another thing I did is I found a really nice shaped red jawbo in my little clutch of reds. And I planted it over here in between these pigeon peas and under this June plum. And we'll see how well it does here, but it looks really nice. Just a good shape to it. So in the ground it goes. Tongatuba has been flowering, no fruit on that one, but these strawberry guavas are doing pretty good. This Eugenia piriformis, was it the Uvaya Dolce variety? It got burnt back before. I think I covered that, but it's since pushing out new growth and looking pretty good. We'll do it different. We're going the opposite way I usually go, so we're in the front yard now. Chop back this cherry of the Rio, and because it was like above the house, so we're keeping it below the house. But it's doing pretty good. This pomegranate looks real nice. I didn't get any flowers, but hopefully next year. I'll show that jackfruit in a second, but here's the mango I put in the ground, and it's already, since I put it in the ground, pushed out a new stalk. So that's awesome. My key lime that I got a while ago is pushing out a whole bunch of new branches. I did see the citrus psyllids on it though, and I picked those off. I don't see any of the young ones on here, so those are the things that transmit the citrus greening. So I'm keeping an eye out, and I'll pick all those off if I do see them, but try and keep that healthy. These peaches, harvested all of them since last time. Same with the plums, they were pretty good. It's the Tropic Snow and the Scarlet Beauty. My Grimmel out front, getting like tortured by heat and sunlight, is finally pushing out new growth. These things are durable as heck. So it's pretty happy since it started raining. But let's actually step through here. These directly sown reds are doing really good in this spot. They're the best ones out of all of them. I think definitely planting spot really matters a lot with the directly sown jawbos. And then here's a Fiola, pineapple guava. It flowered for me. I didn't get any fruit set, so I'll probably need to graft like a scion onto it to get some more varieties. If I want to even have a chance at that, I think here. And then got this jackfruit seedling in here. Let's look at it. This is the best one. See it right there. So everything's doing really good after the rain. Onto the side of the house, the other side. Got this Rumichama looking good after getting planted and established. Tons and tons and tons of guavas on the this is a Ruby Supreme. So loaded up. I can't find all my bags. We gotta bag them up here this time of the year because of the fruit flies do get into them. But I find if you bag them while they're still hard, they don't get the fly in them. Don't have issues with the fly in the winter time at all. So the winter guavas are the best ones. Julie mango doing really good right here. Get a whole bunch of the new growth coming out. No issues with any kind of fungus on it. And I think the reason for that especially is like the soil here is pretty good. You can see the density of native plants that I put in here. I've got pigeon peas I'll be chopping and dropping. And even these the sunshine mimosa is taking over, which totally 100% for that. I kind of hope it takes over the entire yard back here. Got to keep it from going in the front though, because the HOA is not going to like that. But yeah, I think this mango does really well here because it's just intense sunlight all day. And I think that helps with any fungal problems. Valencia orange is doing all right. I don't think it likes being in the intense sun. Like it's pretty yellowed, deficient looking. I'm pretty sure that's just from the sun. I mean, it could be from greening. I don't think it is. I've seen the psyllids on this thing, but any signs of greening that you would think are greening are usually like from leaf miner or I mean, this might be just a nutrient deficiency, like, because it's got what you're looking for with greening is the oh, see, there's a psyllid right there. Let me squish him. But what you're looking for is like the uneven, like, what do you call it, chlorosis. If it's uneven, it's a sign of greening, but not necessarily that you have greening. Because I find like even here, right, you look at that, it's like, oh, well, that's uneven chlorosis. You look at the bottom, well, there's some damage on the bottom. So I don't really know the best way to tell, at least visually, because like the uneven chlorosis can be from anything. It's not necessarily a cause, but direct sun jackfruits here are doing all right. They're getting a little toasted from the sun. They'll come through. I think I pulled out all the tall grass here, and I just actually it's all on the ground here, so I'm going to let it mulch up. But I want the sunshine mimosa to kind of come through here just for aesthetic reasons, just like it is everywhere else. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully none of my trees have greening. There's a lot of trees in the neighborhood, a lot of citrus trees that have been around for a while. I'm sure they have the bacteria in them, but I think as long as you try to keep them healthy, they should pull through it, I hope. But worst case scenario, if the citrus don't do well, I'll just replace it with something better. I do love citrus, but yeah, this Ichi Kakikejiro or something, looking really nice. These are, if I had to say, if anyone wanted a tree in at least, Central West Florida that you don't have to do anything for, these persimmons, like, they take the heat, they take the drought, they look really nice. They do drop their leaves in the wintertime. They are deciduous. That's the only thing to consider, but I haven't gotten fruit off this yet, but I'm sure next year we will. But they're just not fussy at all. My Sabra is finally getting established in this hole. You can see we got new growth. There's a lot of burnt growth from where it was really dry and really hot all of a sudden, and the transition from, it seems like, winter to summer just almost overnight, and it kind of shocked the plant. I probably shouldn't have pruned it when I did, but I wasn't thinking about putting it in the ground when I pruned it. There's a little bit of dappled light in there from the screen, but I mean, even the red in there is getting burnt on the top. Excuse me. But all the new growth coming in is a good sign. Pretty much everywhere all over the tree. So we'll see where it ends up. Hopefully, I want it to kind of bush out and shade itself up again and then start growing up. Other thing, these finger limes, they're going crazy. Let's see if you can still see the blooms, but it was blooming all over it. So hopefully we'll have a ton of finger limes. It bloomed for me before. Yeah, you can kind of see all the white speckles. I'll hold it for a second there. It was blooming for me before, but only on the lower branches, but it bloomed again like all over the thing. You can even see there's some coming in like right there. Now this thing is covered in spider mites too. I don't spray anything, so they're just kind of hanging around. I'm hoping the natural pests will come in and take care of it, or the tree can just live with them. I haven't really noticed it doing anything other than, like, you can kind of see it makes the leaves kind of speckled and pale looking, but the tree's pushing out new growth and flowering, so I imagine it's not really affecting it too bad. Here's the sunshine mimosa pom-poms. This is another finger lime. This is a red one. This is a green one, and I believe this one flowered too. I can't tell. It's really hard to tell with these things if it's a flower or a stalk or something coming out, but I think I did see a couple flowers on this green one. Yeah, there's some right there. I don't want to get too close because I don't want to get spiked. But they're doing pretty good. Not sure if I want to keep them or not because they're so spiky. I don't really like spiky plants. Got rid of my dragon fruit inside, or at least the yellow dragon fruit inside for that reason. But yeah, the Suriname cherry, now that it started raining, is like pushing out a whole bunch of new growth. I'll have to prune it up after this, but I got a rogue fruit right there, which will, hopefully a bird doesn't take it and I'll get to eat that one. This Carolina Reaper is finally coming through. I thought it was going to be an orange variety, but it was just slow on the color transition. But that was just a seedling from my other Reaper. Some basil in here, milkweed. What else? Yeah, I've got a seedling Meyer lemon in here too that is starting to pop through, and it was suffering for a little bit until I put it in the ground. It's been catching back up. The Barbados cherry flowered very, very heavily from the rains, so hopefully we get a bunch of fruit set on that. I pruned back my moringa and turned all the leaves into a powder. I got about, was it like 40 grams of moringa powder from it? Just from these 2 trees. They were like, 6 feet tall. There wasn't a lot on it, but you can really just like saw these back and harvest the leaves and dry them and grind them up into powder, and you can see like almost immediately they start coming back. All right, here's the guaybiju. I know it was getting burnt up, but it was a little assassin bug right there. I hope that's an assassin bug and not the bad the bad one that looks like an assassin bug. But yeah, guaybiju's coming back. Once it started raining, it really stopped kind of burning up. You can see the burn right there, but it seems like a really strong tree for this area too. About the same, seems about the same as the Quaimuck so far. It just takes everything. Yeah, Quaimuck's looking good. It's really enjoying the rain. See, I pulled up a lot of the, I mulch. I've been mulching around the plants, but it's kind of temporary. I'm trying to get rid of the grass for the most part and replace it with edible greens. I want it to mostly be things that I can eat. I don't necessarily mind the grass, but I only have so much space, and I want to fill it with stuff that I like more than stuff I don't like. And I'm allergic to grass, and I'm not allergic to basil or longevity spinach. So we're replacing the grass with spinaches and basils and herbs and hibiscus as much as possible, or any other kind of like little ground cover weeds like this guy, which this one's variegated, which is kind of cool. I don't know what kind of plant this is, but it grows all over the place. It's some kind of weed. That's kind of cool. I got a variegated plant. I wish it was a jaboticaba, but we'll take a variegated weed ground cover. This Caramel Reaper is doing fantastic. I got the I harvested all the pods off of it a couple weeks ago and dried them in the dehydrator, and I'll make a powder out of it eventually. But now it's just filling in a bunch of green growth. It looks fantastic. These Chinense variety of plants, they'll get tall. They'll get like 6 feet tall and wide. We'll have probably twice as many pods. Cha-cha looking pretty good. It stopped looking burnt once it started raining. Got yuzus on the yuzu. Again, citrus. The citrus just don't look that good in my yard, and I think most of it is due to sunlight. There's also like these mites. I don't think they have greening. I think it's just a combination of, the soil wasn't good when I planted them. They do have the psyllids on them, but see, we got some new growth coming out of here. I do see citrus psyllid larvae on that, so I'll have to spray that off with the hose. So maybe it is greening. I don't know, but hopefully we'll get enough yuzus off this tree to be satisfied. But if it dies, I'm not getting any more citrus, just because of that reason. Like, I love citrus, but yeah, I don't know if I have it in me to keep dealing with that, or like at least like having host plants. But even if I don't get affected by it, it's like another breeding ground for them. But anyways, the Luke's Garcinia is looking nice. It hasn't burnt at all from the sun. I've got this strawberry guava here shading it out from kind of the late afternoon sun that comes in this way. Oh, there's actually a flower on this. They're starting to form. Look at that. Strawberry guava flowers. Got a lemon drop pepper there. That's the was it Capsicum baccatum species. They're very good. I recommend them. They're very citrusy, like sweet tart, and the heat on it is, it's high, like a, not higher than a cayenne, I would say, but it's like very sharp and then tapers off very quickly. So if you don't want, like, if you want something spicy but something that doesn't linger, they're pretty good for that. Yeah, my other pepper plants are looking all right. The lemon zest, finally pushing out some new growth. It's looking a little twisty right there. I'm not sure what that is. Actually, it might be bug damage. And I've had this issue on these, like on my mangoes here when they're younger, they tend to get bug damage, and then they get a couple of flushes and the bugs start or stop messing with them once they get taller. This Gambogi, or Gamboge, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but the Garcinia xanthochymus, looking pretty bleached out from the sun still, but it's still got green on it. So I know it's just bleach, and it's not like it's not getting water or nutrition or whatever. It's literally just from the heat. But I'm hoping it'll push out some new growth that's more acclimated to it. This Garcinia seed that I directly sowed still hasn't popped out, but we're keeping an eye out. What else is over here? These governor's plums. What I think are governor's plums are doing good. More peppers. Lemon drop mangosteen. This one, again, it got, the root ball fell apart on this one when I put it in the ground, and I really don't recommend using those if you're keeping them in pots for a while. Don't use the cloth pots on these things. They're just not good for it. It's hard to get them out. You basically have to cut them out of the bag unless you want the root ball to fall apart. So it's been recovering from that. It's been in the ground. Gosh, I have to go back and look at the videos. It's been in the ground for a while, but I mean, it's still green. Like, I'm not worried about it. It'll come back. It just needs to work on its root system before it starts top growth. Here's my other xanthochymus that I keep shaded a little bit. So it's looking really nice. It hasn't pushed out any growth. I'm sure it's working on its root system. There's my other garnet, cherry of the Rio. Orange sherbet mango, pushing out new growth. It did a flush a little bit ago, and it's already hardened off. And it's doing more and more flushes. So I'm excited to see how that looks at the end of the year. Mystery mango, looking good. I think it's a Valencia Pride. Not sure though. If it is, I'm gonna have to probably put something else there because there's no way it's gonna get huge otherwise. But we'll get a couple mangoes off it if we like it. Then we'll keep it around as long as I can manage it. If we don't like it, we'll replace it with something else. Here's the yellow Jaboticaba. That's in full sun, pretty much all day. You can see it's burnt up looking, but that's because it wasn't hardened off. And here is the new growth. So very important to harden off your plants before you put them out if you want them to look nice at least. But they'll pull through it. They figure it out. Actually, down here it looks really nice. It's got a little bit more shade. So yeah, looking good. I put one of the Eugenia Rapondas in here very early on. You can't really see it. It's like right there. But it's got new growth coming out. I figured get it in the ground ASAP to let that root ball really form how it's supposed to. They seem to do a little, like the plants do better, I find, if I germinate them in pots, and then as the roots are starting to get to the edges of the pot, I then plant them in the ground. If I'm intending on planting them in the ground, they do best when I do that. Otherwise, they seem to not. It takes them a little longer to adapt to the outside. Otherwise, actually, let's go back here. So, speaking of sunburn, this jackfruit that was in here got sunburnt, and I don't think it's coming back. Maybe it will, but and I put more than one seed and actually realized there's another one right there, and this one did not get sunburnt. So yeah, so we have a second chance on accident there. This is my old yellow dragon fruit that is now compost. The lemon guava that I put in the ground a while ago, looks like it's finally established and pushing out, or it's established its root system well enough to want to push out new growth, so that's awesome. Passion fruit vine still going crazy. The giant granadilla that I put in the ground here is starting to vine out now too, so I'm happy about that. Put an ice cream bean here, Ingavira. Pretty much all the ice cream beans here are Ingavira. I'm trying to get my hands on an Inga Volpina to put in the front yard, just because they're a little bit more manageable. I'm thinking of putting them near the sidewalk in the front, just as some nice landscaping plus edibility value there. Got a yellow Wampy in here. I'm not sure what's going on with this leaf curl. I'm guessing it's probably bug damage. Maybe. I don't know. It was doing that before I put it in the ground, so hopefully putting it in the ground is going to resolve whatever that issue is. Black Sapote, pushed out new growth, pushed out a flower. This thing hasn't set fruit for me before, so hopefully it does this time. I'm sure the squirrels will get it before I do, though. Here's the seashore mangosteens that I planted the other day. Looking pretty good. The sugar apple, I saw a flower on here that I thought was going to be setting some fruit, but I don't see it anymore, so maybe it didn't. That's all right, though. This one maybe might set some fruit. Let's see. Oh, trying to get a good angle on it. Let's see. Get over here a little better. Yeah, that one might set a fruit. Answer farming scale on it, but I was going to let them do their thing. Let's see. I put some mulberry cuttings. I trimmed back my Thai everbearing and I just shoved the whatever I trimmed off in the ground here. So we'll see if they turn into trees. Got another ice cream bean there. Just some random pipe pines that the butterflies like. Dragon fruit's doing okay, although I'm just noticing that this one looks a little rotten. Interesting. Yeah, it's definitely rotted. I'm not sure. Actually, there's ants inside of it. That might be. I can actually see them. Let's do something live on camera. I bet if I open that up, there's going to be ants all in there. Let's see. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know what's going on with that. Not too worried about it. If this thing, this thing's probably going to die back. I should probably, I'll do this after I get off. I'll clip it off here and put these in a pot and root these again so I don't lose this variety. But this side looks okay. That side looks okay. Not sure what the deal is there. I don't know. But this is kind of why I'm done with dragon fruit in Florida. They seem to not like the moisture that much. More of a California thing. Maybe it's the variety. This is an American Beauty. Maybe it needs to be in the pot. But let's see what's over here. This looks like a pepper of some sort. We'll see if it turns into a pepper. It might just be a wild nightshade. But it looks like a jalapeno if I had to guess. We'll see what that turns into. The jackfruits, I'm trying to eyeball them over here. I know they're still good. I saw them the other day. Why can't I not see them? They blend in with all the other green. I'm sure they're in there still doing good, but here's what the everbearing mulberry looks like after you prune it. It was like 10, 12 feet tall, and I just chopped it in half. And it's already pushing out new growth, and that'll all flower and fruit. Yeah, so we're kind of back where we started. Here's this other lemon drop. I think this is the one with the nipple on it that Adam calls the superior. I think that's Brasiliensis, maybe, or maybe it's Gardneria. I'm not sure. One of the lemon drops with the little nipple on it. This avocado still has its fruit, so I'm sure we're gonna get to eat these. This is the Brazos Bell. Still nothing on this Dovialis hybrid. It's putting out tons and tons of green growth, but I've not seen a single flower. I really want to try it. So maybe I'll chop it back a little bit and try and root some cuttings off of it and propagate it a bit just to keep it under control. The last thing I'm going to show are the MBs. This one looks pretty good. This is the newest one I got. It's getting established. It hasn't pushed out any new growth since I got it, but it hasn't burnt at all. It's looking real nice. My oldest oldest one is right here, and it just recently pushed out some new growth. And then this other little tiny seedling just started pushing out new growth here, so that's awesome. And then this other one I got from someone online, it burnt up a little bit, so I put it in some shade because this was me not acclimating it. It's still alive, so I'm sure it's just recovering, but it didn't look good whenever I got it either. It was kind of etiolated, and obviously it had been in some shade for a while, so I'm hoping that'll help kickstart it in the high gear. But yeah, it's kind of hot out here. I'm gonna go back in. That's pretty much it. I'll end it with I've got this vanilla orchid that's finally starting to get established on this tree. You can see the roots there. It's kind of burning up from the bottom. Like whenever I got it, they root them in pots. They're not supposed to be in pots. They're supposed to be attached to the trees, but it's getting attached. You can see some nice leafage in here, but it's starting to vine its way through. Hopefully we'll get flowers and pods someday. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you stuck around this whole time, thanks. If you skipped ahead, that's all right too. I don't blame you. But clocking out.